In this video, I'm going to take this graphic here, this segment info lower third that you see, and I'm going to add an update in and update out to it. An update in or update out will be used when you are in the same story slug and you have multiple graphics. In our case, we want to be able to change the segment info during the show. And rather than having it just appear, let's add a nice wipe on, wipe off effect. So I've already added both a orange and a pod. Now the pod is a mask that will get rid of the text and the image. So we're going to select everything, hit add transition, choose update in, or let's start with update out, and then hit selected. Now for some reason I have all these keyframes here. I want to push them back, and I'm going to actually make the full effect to be 1 second. So I'm going to make each animation 15 frames. So I'm going to take all these keyframes and pull them back to the start. So there is no actual keyframe, nothing happens. It's just the one at the very beginning. And I'm going to make it so we can see the orange. So now what you're going to want to make sure is down in the timeline here, I need to move the playhead all the way back to the beginning because it doesn't actually exist at the time I was trying to adjust. So now I'm going to go to my XYZ and just set everything back to 0. Then I'll go to surface. I'll change the alpha to 100. Go up here to the top and adjust the scale to make it a little bit thinner and also a little shorter after I move it into position here. This was just, I'm going to do it just pretty quickly, kind of show you how to do an update in out. This isn't going to be perfect, but I'm going to do my best. So update out, I'm going to want to start this all the way out and off the screen. But first I'm going to take the pod. I'm going to go back to move this into position kind of where I want it to be. As you can see, it kind of masks out the text. I'm going to make it a little bit larger so when we do move it into the position, it will cover all of the text and the picture. Make it a little bit smaller, not that it really matters, and then try to pull it kind of over the bar and move it off the screen. And that looks good to me. Actually, I'm going to move everything off, and so that the orange doesn't just pop on, it does kind of move in from off the screen because you will see that on the update in. Now I want to go to at 15 frames here, the very last frame. Move the orange all the way into the other little orange bar on the other side, and then do the same thing for the pod. Now, if you're going to do this for an actual show, I might do this frame by frame to make sure the pod and the orange both move together and you don't have any gap between the two. Now, if I hit play and click on update out, you'll see that we have a nice little wipe off effect as you go back between default and update out. Next, we're going to build the update in. So I'm going to select everything that we have in the update out here. Right click, hit add transition, and choose update in. And choose to select it to automatically bring those all in. And there you go. Now I'm going to make this also a 15 frame animation. And you have to remember that when you do an update in out, they both run at the exact same time. So if we both had the update in and the update out happening at 15 frames, from 0 to 15 frames, they would run at the same time. But if I do it this way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the update out go from 0 to 15, and then run the update in at 15 to 1 second. So I'm going to try to get these different pieces moved into the right position here. If you right click, you can actually zoom the timeline, which is really helpful. I'm going to do it up to 8 times so I can see basically frame by frame and move everything so it ends at 1 second here. All right, now that I have all those set up, I'm going to start with the keyframes. So I'm going to drag the playhead here to the 1 second mark so that anything I do will happen at 1 second and be recorded there. I'll move the orange all the way off screen, click on the pod and do the same to have it wipe out. And now if I play it, I click on update out, it'll go that way, and update in, it'll wipe off as well. Now this will look a little bit better once it is loaded into the graphics system, and I will show you that in 1 second. But first, we're going to make sure that we save this out to Cameo. We're going to call it test update in/out and saved. And now we'll open up EMPS and clear this out. Then go to my Chyron templates and refresh so we see any new content that's available to us. And search up here for test to find our test update in, update out, which is right here. We're going to keep the default here and save it to graphics 1 and hit save. And before we go back, let's just write some gibberish on the top line so you can see it changing, and save that to graphics 1 as well. Now I'm going to switch over to the webcam and show you what it looks like. As you can see, we have our graphic pulled up here, and if I hit the button, it'll wipe on the other one because we're in the same story slug, and you'll see the different top line here. If I hit it again, we'll wipe, and I can keep wiping between the two of these. Now it does look a little bit weird because I don't think that the orange and the mask layer, which was the pod, are moving across the screen at the same rate. But hopefully you've learned something and can apply this to your own update in, update out.